And hello, everyone. Welcome back to FPL in the Trenches, the Frontline Prediction League recap, preview, etc. show hosted by myself and my good friend BeerMeJesus. How are you today, BeerMe?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. We are ready for a fun show here for the Frontline Prediction League, and you'll see why in a second. This is Frontline League on Twitter. It is on this very YouTube channel, Frontline Prediction League. Like, favorite, subscribe, all that stuff. It does help out. Thank you very much. But normally we come to you guys every week with an episode, and we're either recapping the event that just happened, which there was not one this past weekend, so we're good there, or we're previewing the upcoming event this weekend, which is this weekend, Extreme Rules, as you can see on your screen. However, we did that last time because we got a little carried away. Fully my fault, and you can even see if you go watch the episode last week where I said, we'll run down the card real quick, but not go through the whole thing because that'll be next week. Oops. We ended up going through it, and it was good, but now we're left with not really anything because we've announced all the matches. So what to do? And we're not going to take a week off and let CT have an episode, right? Like, that's not going to happen.
Right.
I mean, not if we can help it, at least. That's...
Mm-hmm.
You know, CT is the backup plan. And all jokes aside, he's done an awesome job with them. But, yeah. What do we do? I got an idea. So, what we're going to do is look at our title matches. Because, for those who've been paying attention, you know that our champions are the same people they've been since the start. We inaugurated our American and Canadian championships at WrestleMania. There was a bit of a delay in the American one. We'll get into that. But they both started at WrestleMania, and it's the same people since. It is September 23rd. WrestleMania was early April. Our tag team championship came in the middle of the summer. There's only been a defense, but it's the same people. Like they've not lost either. And our world champion is about to have his first defense, so that's a bit of an asterisk on that one. But we're going to focus on those title matches here tonight and really look at where they've gone through and look at their momentum and actually see, it's a little more kayfabe than usual, but really see who we think will win, if it's time for a new champion, if these challengers have what it takes. Full disclosure, as part of the booking team, they obviously have what it takes because we've lined them up. I fully believe that, 100%. Do they have what it takes to actually win it? Yes. Will they? Who knows? That's the fun. BeerMe's one of the challengers, so he's very, very biased on his. But we're not gonna dive into the challengers as much as the champion. It's really about those champions to see who can retain. So, BeerMe, if you're ready, we can dive right in. We'll save the world title for last for once. Excuse me. We'll start with our tag team championship. So, the Simple Creatures, Modstep and Chappers, are our tag team champions. The FPL Continental Tag Team Champions, which is a big mouthful, but that's what we called it. They are defending against Death Money Inc., DMI, The Arbiter, and Kano Mac. Now, this is in a tables elimination hardcore match. This team is the team that the Creatures won it from in the first place. The Simple Creatures and Death Money Inc. back at Hell in a Cell, June 20th, had their match. This straight up match, and the Creatures won. And I've talked about it for years, honestly, with the Creatures, but they're one of the better teams I've ever seen because they were the GRPL Tag Team Champions, and I think CT noticed it's not been since 2019 that there hasn't been a tag title match with them in it they didn't win. But FPL-wise, they won that match. They've had singles matches. They had one defense that was successful at SummerSlam against the Strays, who earned their shot. Then they had a non-title win over CM Carlito and Wookie, and then some more singles matches. And here we are at Extreme Rules. And I know we've talked about this a fair bit, BeerMe, about never bet against the Creatures. It's been a long-running joke. DMI, though, if not for one bonus and some controversial wording, I mean, you can call it that, we made our decision and I stand by it, but I get it. Like, it's part of why we're like, that needs to be looked at going forward, but it's still what it was. it would have been DMI who are the tag champs still to this day,
Yeah.
potentially, right?
And
They would have had it.
Yeah. And they're getting another shot at it, so...
They are getting that shot. So they could right the wrong here, essentially.
Yes.
Do you think the Creatures will lose the first tag title match that we've seen in 2 years? Or are they going to retain like they've done for 2 years?
Man, when you put it like that...
Yeah, that's what tonight's all about. It's that kind of stuff.
I mean, streaks are meant to be broken. I mean, you know, I think that Death Money Inc. right now has the best shot. I mean, I did pick the Strays to also beat them, and Simple Creatures just keep winning and proving me to be an idiot. But yeah, I think Death Money Inc. is going to get this one. They're going to right the so-called wrong that they were wronged. So I think they're gonna do it. But again, it wouldn't shock me if the Creatures just won and just held those titles till next year. You know, it wouldn't shock me at all. But I do think that Death Money Inc. is going to get it done somehow, some way.
I do as well. And as an MMA fan, you'll probably remember the situation where I believe it was. I'm trying to remember it now. Lyoto Machida and Shogun Hua had a fight.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it was
the first
like
one or the second one.
That's what it was. The first one, it was like he didn't really win that. We're rematching that, and the wrong got righted.
Yeah,
that's what this feels like. It's like, yeah, you know what? They're gonna do it. Like they're gonna fix that mistake because it was that fraction of a mistake, and I think DMI's got it. So that's my comparison for that. I think they're gonna take that. So that's both of us picking Death Money Inc. to become the new tag team champions. That could be, because that's the first match. That could be the first time the titles, any title in the FPL, has changed hands since they were inaugurated onto the first champions. That could be it right there. So that could be history for DMI and history for Simple Creatures, depending. So very intrigued on that one. If they retain, that history will still be possible. And you could achieve it, BeerMe, because the FPL American Championship, the Stars and Stripes title, Alexander McKennedy, the champion, is defending against you, BeerMeJesus, in a 10,000 bottle cap death match.
Sounds fun, right?
It does. It sounds really fun. Now, to look at McKennedy, the American title, it's a very interesting situation because that was originally supposed to be awarded at Fastlane in a four-way match. It was the Midnight Rider, Rate Russell, McKennedy, and Jason Blades in a four-way death match. There was a draw.
Lineup right there.
Excuse me. There was a draw in that. So we rematched it for WrestleMania. And it was the Ryder and McKennedy, the two with the draw, in a ladder match. And McKennedy won. Now, after that, there were, let me see, the first defense was against Josh Dionio. No contest. Bayou Barroom Brawl hardcore match. It was basically stopped for safety reasons in the swamp. That's fair. That was a takeover in your house. He then had a successful defense with another no contest against Josh Dionio and RGX. That was at SummerSlam. So that's two no contests, both with JD. And now he defends against you. So technically, BeerMe, he has not actually won a defense. He hasn't lost either. But he hasn't won. Now, has he won? Yeah, as far as for singles matches, because I'm not looking at the tag matches so much here. And yes, I have records of all this stuff. He did lose to Kier 1, non-title. He lost to Josh Dionio. That was the title eliminator that got him the title shot. He did beat Luke Gray. There was the Bayou Barroom Brawl. He then beat RGX, non-title. He then lost to the Gaffer, non-title. He lost to you, non-title, which is part of what got him here. And then there was a few tag matches. We were both included in that. And now here we are. So he's never successfully defended that belt, but he's kept it. I didn't realize that. I thought he had at least won one, but no.
You know, I got to give it to him. That's pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's insane.
And don't forget, the initial title match, he was part of a draw where we had no champion for a month and we had to move it to the next pay-per-view, the WrestleMania. So he's been involved in 4 title matches. 3 were no contests. And he won the other one.
Yeah.
No matter what, aside from the fact that the first one was for the belt and no belt got awarded, he's never lost that belt. And you can say what you want about not getting wins, and I know character promos, I always do. But that's like you said, that's impressive. He hasn't lost, but he still has the belt out of 4 matches. That's all that matters. Yeah, he's still a champion defending against you. So, what do you think about that as a challenger? Like that, this is a unique perspective for this one.
It is. It's not like he's, like I said, it's not like he's beating everybody, like steamrolling them. But again, I got to give it to you. It's just impressive to hold on to that title in like a gajillion no contests. Mm-hmm. But I think this match is going to be interesting. I do like the idea of a 10,000 bottle cap match, beer bottle cap match, and it's going to be. I'll see if I can do it. I got faith in myself.
You've got momentum. You've got history as well, obviously. But I think the important thing with this is that in his no contests, they've still been very brutal. 2 of them were simple brutality that ended it. Like, it couldn't continue. So that,
by any means,
Exactly. So it's not like he wussied out. No, he beat the crap out of people so bad no one could continue. So, like, that is what you're looking at with 10,000 bottle caps. I'm not sure if they'll be, like, in the ring or surrounding the ring. I don't know if that's been presented yet, but that's going to be a thing.
Whoever writes that match is going to have a blast.
Yeah, it's probably me. I don't know, but it's going to be... we'll figure it out. Better soon. It's Thursday night. But with that match, there's 2 stories here with McKennedy. Either Alexander McKennedy does another no contest, obviously, or he gets the win finally. Like, he turns it around and gets a win. And against you, that's a definitive way to kind of ignore all those no contests. And it's like, I beat BeerMeJesus, so there. Or, yeah, he loses. I know I said there's either or, but there's 3. Or he loses. Thing is, he's never lost a title match. So that's still, like, fresh in the mind, I've got to think, for, like, a quick turnaround to get back at the champ. Now, that said, with the number of title matches and the calendar coming up, even if he wins the requirements to get back in line, it still might not even be till 2022, let's be honest, with the way things are going with like Crown Jewel and Survivor Series and TLC and stuff like that. But who knows? It might be a moot point if he just beats you in 10,000 bottle caps.
True.
I think I said last time that I wasn't picking you, Beer Me. The more I look at it, I think history's on your side. Just by that fact alone, I am picking you on this one. Like, I have faith in you too, but it's like no one's beaten this guy. That is a thing to keep. Like, people have come line like eye to eye with him, but no one's beaten him. But you did non-title, and in that tag match, we had fun. I think you've got his number right now. Right now, you've got his number.
He always manages to survive somehow, some way.
Yep. So. When it matters, which you know very well.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I'm picking you. Obviously, you're picking yourself. We're not even. I mean, come on, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's move on to another very interesting match. It is Relentando versus Smooth Rock. Smooth Rock still has the belt. It is a Watson Rules match for, of course, our FPL Canadian Championship. And yes, our inaugural champion, Relentando, still has the belt. Now, there's a similar aspect here with no contests that we do need to mention. This one has a bit of a more convoluted history, which you might think is weird because you'd think the matches that the American Championship has had are a little more gimmicky and weird, but this one took time to grow. Relentando and Cam initially fought for the belt at WrestleMania. It was at the last minute when we realized, oh man, we should do something more for that to make it be the stipulation of like purity, pure rules we were inspired by from ROH. So we couldn't change that one for it, so unfortunately that one didn't have the Watson rules, or whatever the rules were going to be called when we were coming up with the name. But Relentando won that. The next title match was with yourself and Jonathan C.T. Martin at WrestleMania Backlash, still a weird name, in May. Watson Rules, which was simply no bonuses. It's pure. Triple threat match went to a no contest. And if I remember correctly, it was a 3-way tie. So then we were like, well, that didn't work, because what are the odds of that? And we revamped it, the idea of the ascending bonuses, which I know you liked until it bit you in the ass. But the difference there now is that if there's 5 bonus questions, if we have a tie in the main stuff, we'll then go to that first bonus question. Did someone get it right or wrong? And it's only going to be singles matches. More on that in a second. Did they both get it right or both get it wrong? Then it's a tie and we keep moving on. If one got it wrong, then they get the point and there's your difference maker. Tie is over. If we keep going through all the way down to all 5 and there's no differences and somehow you got all the bonuses correct too, it's a draw. Canadian Championship rules, the Watson rules are you got a 30-minute time limit. You've got a 20 count on the outside. There are no rope breaks. And you can lose by countout or disqualification. So if you get disqualified as champion, you lose the belt. There's no, I keep my title, I get to go home. You have to win to keep it, or obviously a no contest, because the challenger has to beat the champion to win it. So, we did that. We had a no contest in that Watson rules, obviously, yes. We then had Relentando defend against Jonathan C.T. Martin. He lost. He then defended against Broken Nerd. He lost. The champion has won ever since the Watson rules got solidified. Yeah, we almost went with, I think it was Gene Kiniski, because Whipper Billy Watson's the first NWA World Champion that was Canadian, so that's the history there. Gene Kiniski was in there as well. We had other names like Ron Garvin as well. Watson rules just kind of works. It sounds like a thing, so we went with it. But he won those. However, he had some non-title matches. We got to mention those as well. He, I believe he did beat Monkey Bong. For some reason, my record doesn't say he won, but of course he did. I got to think he beat Monkey Bong. He did not beat James Costner. He did beat Josh Gionio, non-title. He did beat Redhead, non-title. And he did beat Payne, non-title. This was all as we were going towards SummerSlam and such. So, like, Payne, the day after the world title match, lost to our Canadian champion. Josh Gionio, on the way towards his American title match, which we just mentioned, lost to Relentando. So, Relentando is getting it done. He's had tag matches as well, which he won some. I won one before all this, but whatever. And now he's got Smooth Rock. Smooth Rock, who I beat, by the way, but he hit me with the belt. It was a cheap shot. He's been on a roll as well. This has been Bad Blood, but also very much a story of just like, how to put it. It's both like a story of Bad Blood, which is what I was trying to say, not either or, but also he's just earned his way there, which is what we really base it on. But then it's bubbled up into this absolute madness of a feud. And when he stole that belt, like that scene at Death Before Dishonor, where it was the two champions raising their belts except one didn't have his belt. Oh, it's so evil of him to do that. It's like he picked the right moment. The fear here, obviously, is that Relentando is so angry he's going to get disqualified. If he does, he's losing his title. That's Mind Games by Smooth Rock, right?
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see that, or is Relentando going to do what he always does and win again?
You know, I said a few weeks ago on this show that I was not going to bet against Relentando in a title match until he lost, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick him here. I'm going to pick him here to win. I think that Smooth Rock is a very capable opponent, and I think that he can win. But until somebody actually beats him, I can't go against the champ.
I think I agree with you on that. I think it's a case of Smooth Rock is a bit of a dark horse compared to the others, and I don't mean that in any slight, but the prior contenders were yourself, Jonathan C.T. Martin, and Broken Nerd. Smooth Rock's coming in. It's kind of like the Strays. It's like, oh, is he going to do it? Okay, all right. I think that's his best shot and his best chance to take this. And I say that he's suddenly he's in that dialogue fully for me now. Like, he's absolutely there and can take this title. I mean, like, legitimately.
Yep.
I didn't even mean that pun when I said it. He's proven he can take it, but he can actually win it. I have full confidence on that, more than I did when this all started. But I don't think he will on Sunday. I think it's still going to be Relentando. And I've got a weird feeling, but even if all the other titles change hands, this one won't. Like, this title is not changing hands on Sunday.
I agree.
Even if the rest all do. Like, it's the one. Relentando's going to be that rock that doesn't smooth. That, again, I didn't mean that pun. That's 2 in like a minute. But I think he's keeping this no matter what happens elsewhere. So, and that'll turn him into the longest reigning of any champion we have, if that's the case. So, that's what I see for that outcome. But bear me, now it's time for the world title, the main event. It is Bastion in his first defense as world champion, defending against the number 1 contender, Sebastian Escobar. Hell in a Cell. Now, yeah, I'll admit there was a bit of a, why is it Hell in a Cell? It worked out because there's FBU and there's La Familia, and we got to keep the guys out, so the cell will help with that. But I mean, we've discussed for months Escobar. Prior to La Familia,
yeah,
he was runner-up 2 times. He was always close. Beyond that, he was always there. That where's the number 2 joke came from. That was my mistake, my fault. I apologize. Made to a gimmick. It was kind of a thing. But that spurred him into La Familia, and he's been running roughshod, not leapfrogging, but bulldozing through everyone in front of him. La Familia is in line for a tag title shot on this same show, and he's going after the world title. This is Bastion's, like, this is someone on Bastion's level right now, I feel, personally. And Bastion's one of the toughest I've ever faced. To look at what Bastion did since, I mean, he had a non-title match against Chef Urban that he lost. And now he faces Escobar. He had 2 tag matches in between. Our champion hasn't won a one-on-one match since he won the belt in August. A month ago. 2 days ago. He's been champion for a month and he's lost 1 match. I think he might have lost the other. I think one of the tag matches he actually did lose that. So momentum's not exactly there. Escobar's doing nothing but win. Yeah, there was a roadblock on one of the house shows, same as Bastion, but that kind of puts him on even keel. I think Escobar's momentum is going to put him on the top. I think he's going to take that title. What do you think on this one? I know it's Bastion. I know it's your guy, but Sebastian Escobar is one of your early faves of the FPL. Who are you looking at here, totally subjectively?
I'm going to pick Bastion. He is my stable mate. But if it was anybody else, like not an FBU, and Sebastian Escobar was going for this title, I would totally pick him, and I would totally root for him. But I just think that Bastion will just win the ones that matter. You know, Escobar's come so close, and if he wins here, it would be a big deal, and it would be a great moment for him. Because, you know, he wouldn't finish second this time. He's number 1. He's the king. Like, he's the king of the family. He'd be the king of the FPL, you know?
Yep.
And I think that would be a great moment, but I think when it's all said and done, because Bastion's pretty tough to beat one-on-one. He really is.
Very.
And it's a main show. He literally went through hell to get this title, so I just don't see him losing it that quickly.
It is Hell in a Cell.
And it is Hell in a Cell, yep.
So that does even it up, though. It does take out the factions from both sides.
Yeah, there's a thing that we haven't really discussed with this match, though. There's a guy, there's a bird with a briefcase, the bird in the bank. He's got the
that was the whole other piece I was going to be mentioning as well. That's a whole extra piece,
right?
Before we get into Mr. Money in the Bank, CJ Hawk, I wanted to ask you something that you specifically have dealt with before as the JRPL World Champion. What was that first title defense like? How? Because you're always, if people aren't aware, BeerMe usually gets his picks in pretty last minute. He will do his discussions with the FBU guys a lot for hours sometimes, and that's what led them to actually forming a faction here FPL, just in case you didn't know. So you've gone through this stuff, and I know you and Bastion are already talking. I don't want those secrets or anything, but you've been there with him helping you try to get picks to retain. You faced each other for the world title even. How's it like, as the champion, first off, to defend like that? Like, what's the mindset you're in that? What do you think he's going through?
I think it's going to be very nerve-wracking. The first one's always the worst, because you don't want to not be able to defend your title. Like, you don't want to be that guy that's the transitional champion. So you try not to overthink it, but you're going to overthink it. But after you get one down, it's not so bad. Then you're just like, all right, I can do this. You know, it's not as bad. But I think Bastion's going to be a little bit nervous, but I don't think he'll overthink it. I don't think he'll overthink anything. I don't think we'll overthink anything, and hopefully pick up that W.
Now I can relate to that with the lack of defense, because I had that as tag champion. First defense, lost it. I was Road Warrior champion. First defense after 5 days, lost it. Finally, as tag champion, retained it. And then I did that as Ultra Violent champion. So I've been there. I've retained. That first defense is terrifying.
It is.
On the flip side, though, seeing him as world champion going in here, what advice do you have for him? Like, not, I mean, obviously it's picks, like, not that kind of stuff, but what's it like seeing him now going through this, knowing that you've done it before?
I'd say I say I get nervous for him too. You know, like it's part of the stablemate. You know, you want to see your stablemate succeed and do really well. So I'm kind of nervous for him too, because Sebastian Escobar is no slouch. He's really good, and but I like I said, I think Bastion will keep calm, and I think that we'll get these picks down and we'll be all right.
Now, we knew Escobar was good before he did the La Familia and turned the corner, so he's that much more dangerous now. So
he is, yeah.
Now, the last piece, you did mention CJ Hawk, which I don't think we don't have him on the list here yet. Damn, I was gonna go to a graphic of him, but there's not one there. CJ Hawk is Mr. Money in the Bank. Now, Escobar did beat him recently. That's part of his momentum going into this match, and I know that there was that tag match as well, and things were crazy, and even though the win happened the way it did, there was no slowdown in anything between those two. Obvious first question is, do you think Hawk will cash in?
I don't think so. I think if Sebastian Escobar were to win this title, I think then Hawk would cash in at a later date if Sebastian Escobar had the title.
It's more likely for him, yeah.
I think that, yeah, because I think that they have like history together, and you know, it would just really, it would be hilarious, because like in Sebastian Escobar character chat, they just don't like each other, and they're, you know, and Sebastian gets kind of annoyed in the character chat with him, and Hawk just kind of eggs it on. So it would be kind of hilarious if Sebastian did win, and then Hawk cashed in on him, and then it would just be a whole other thing. But yeah, I think he's gonna wait. I don't think Hawk's gonna rush it.
It won't be tonight. It'll be at a later date, you said?
Yeah.
Because I presume he could say, like, if Escobar wins, I want to cash in. Like, he could declare that with CT, the only man who knows. He could be like, if Bastion retains, I don't want to cash in. Or he'd be like, I'll cash in on either. Like, he could do that. That's possible. And he could, like I said, he could be the face and say, I'm cashing in, add me to the match. Oh, that would be... Could you imagine?
Right.
Can you imagine that? I agree, though. I don't think he's going to cash in on that night. But I do think if Escobar does win, he's a much more appealing target to Hawk than Bastion is. So I agree with you on that. I think Bastion is pretty safe. If he does get cashed in on, it's going to be a case of, like, I'm calling my shot. If Escobar has it, he better have La Familia bird watching. Like,
yep. Yeah.
No other way to put it. Yeah. Oh, that's a cool visual, just to picture Hawk, like, on top of the cell watching it. Right there. Oh, he's looming. He's there.
Mm-hmm.
Flying above. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to a lot of this stuff. I'm obviously writing big parts of it, but that's part of the fun. It's a lot of fun to do. Any other standouts, though, Beer Me, for the card? Because we've gone through it at length. If you want to hear our full breakdowns, please listen to last week's episode. You'll get to hear what we think about stuff like Rate Wrestle and the Rider, Luke Gray and CT, the number one contender for the American title, RGX and JD, my Iron Man match with James Costner. By the way, there's a promo coming shortly. I recorded it earlier today. There's the Continental Tag Title number one contenders ladder match, OVS versus La Familia. The four corner strap match with Urban and Mad Elite Titan. And then all the kickoff stuff. And we've said before, if you're not on the card, put your picks in anyway. You'll be on the card. So that's as easy as it is. Sign up in the Discord. Go check all that stuff out. You're in. But of all those matches, Beer Me, any of those really stand out beyond the titles?
I got a couple. I like the submission. Rate Wrestle and Midnight Riders is a submission match, right?
It is, yes. I left the part out. Yeah. And
yeah,
Luke and CT is a lumberjack match. I forgot. It's stipulations. It's extreme rules.
Yeah. Those are like the two matches. Honestly, those are like the two matches I'm kind of looking forward to, especially for the write-ups. So I like a good submission match, and a lumberjack match is just going to be hectic. It's going to be great. There's going to be a whole bunch of, because
first one ever. We didn't even do one back in the JRPL either. We've never done a lumberjack match, I think, at all.
Yeah.
So first one, yeah.
And there'll probably be some lumberjacks that want to get their hands on CT. I don't know who it will be, but he's he's very, very heelish. So I don't think a lot of people will take too kindly to him, but you never know. But those are the two I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to that ladder match between La Familia and OVS.
Yes.
Because I think, because especially, I mean, in the case of Sebastian Escobar wins, then you get La Familia, they win, and then all of a sudden they're gunning for the titles. Ooh.
Yep.
I mean, you know, it's... Mm-hmm.
It's some good stuff. It's some pretty fun, simple booking that we're quite proud of, that this kind of happens sometimes. I'm also interested in your match with Costner, too. The Iron Man match, because it's the Iron Man match, so I know that's just going to be insane. Yeah, it is. I'm not saying I've already started writing parts of it, because it's hard. Iron Man matches are weird, because Iron Man matches, it's not going to be like, the points are going to be like 8-3 or whatever it might be, right? Because it's only like, like if we both pick Roman Reigns beats Finn Balor and that happens, okay, we both get one. If I pick Jeff Hardy wins, but he says Sheamus, and Jeff Hardy does win, I get one. That's it. That's how Iron Man match. The score's gonna be crap. But that's how it goes. So so that's like, those are the falls. So I don't want to be like, oh, I won some falls, but I ended up getting like 0. The odds are against me there, but you know what I mean. The story is fun because I actually wrote, I think it was Bastion and Jut in an Iron Man match, and I remember I talking to Bomber about it, and he's like, you don't have to write every fall. And I'm like, no, I do. Because the way it went, it was like, It was 1-0. Okay, well, then Bastion got the first fall. Then it was 2-0. He got the second fall. Then it was 2-1. Well, now Judge got the fall. And I wrote it like that. And it informed the whole match. So I don't want to go do that and write, I get 2 falls, then he gets 3 or whatever. No, I got to know what the score is first. But I've got the moments. They're in here and written out somewhat. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. And I'm looking forward to what happens from there, because screw the antidote. You're going down. But it's looking like a sweet card like that. I mean, we're skipping over the fact that it's RGX and JD in a street fight. Like,
oh, that's great,
dude.
That's gonna be pure chaos.
That's gonna be nuts. And hey, everybody who wants to go after the American champion, Alexander McKennedy, or maybe BeerMeJesus, these are all stipulation matches. They kind of go towards that.
Oh God, they are.
Keep that in mind. The 4-corner strap match, Urban and Mad Elite Titan. Yep. Mine's not, me and Costner not so much. That's more like Canadian title. Let's be honest here with that one. But still stipulation. But I mean, that's a different contender. Lumberjack match, yep. Submission match, it's more Canadian. But they are in the American title hunt as well, those guys. And it's gonna be a fun night. So I think we'll leave it at that. This was a lot of fun, BeerMe. I like the fact that we can kind of just like focus on this stuff and look at the history. Maybe next time we'll get a little more on the challengers to see what their momentum has been like. If you want to see that stuff, it is in our Discord. You can go in there, look at the profiles. You can see the amazing work that the GMSG has done about the win-loss records, the special moves, the entrances. All that stuff is there with the profile picks. It's in there. You can see that. And he usually gets it updated within a week of the show. Like, if there's another show, it might take a little, like, it might be quick, but it will be in there. So you can go and look at every accurate record right now in there and see the momentum of all these challengers and all the other matches. So that's available through our Discord. Go check that stuff out. And all the history as well. You want to raid the matches, you can go see them. It's a lot of cool stuff, including this page as well. When the Extreme Rules picks page does go up, the deadline will be Sunday, like 6 Eastern, because I think the pay-per-view's at 8. I forget. Probably. That seems to be their thing. So 7 o'clock pre-show, 6 o'clock deadline. Keep that in mind. Get your picks in by 5 Eastern. You're safe. Or be like BeerMe and do 5:58 or something. I don't know. It's always terrifying when you do that, BeerMe. We freak out a lot every time when we're getting ready for it. But get your picks in. You'll be good to go. And, yeah, you'll be part of the show. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll talk about it next week. We'll see what happened, and we'll build toward the next one because it's going to ramp up quick, BeerMe, once October hits because we got Crown Jewel, we got Bound for Glory. It's going to be nuts. And it's going to be fun. So, yeah. Anything else you want to say to people, or McKennedy in particular, leading into Extreme Rules one last time?
Just good luck.
That's it. There's a reason BeerMe doesn't do promos, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't do promos much.
Right.
He just wins. Damn it. I'll get you. Bound for Glory's coming up. We gotta have its impact.
Right.
It's Alexander and Christian for the world title. Like,
that's gonna be. God, that's gonna be good.
I'm telling you right now, Alexander's winning that match. Just so you know, I might even top lock that. Even if we have a submission match, I'm saying that right now. He's bringing the belt home. The Impact's on right now. It's on right now, and they were booing Christian and chanting "Next World Champ." Alexander is what its Impact though. They might not. Stay tuned.
But he's so over.
You want to see how crazy that stuff is? We got a live event chat as well. We go in there. We get on Discord and we talk about the match. And you hear me going 30 seconds after everybody else does because it's usually a delay, whatever. It's awesome. Come check this stuff out. It's so much fun. Thanks, everybody, for watching this one. It's been a lot of fun. I think I'll wrap it there, BeerMe. Everybody, thank you for watching. I just said that. I'm rambling. Have a good night.